And we're going to stay with Vestal, actually, right now. We're going to go to Grayson from Vestal. Good morning, Grayson.
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I called in today because there was something I wanted to bring up to you.
Sure.
I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw Broome County Legislator Bob Weslar shared a post supporting, that is, defunding the police. And I wanted to get your take on that for a county legislator to kind of support this agenda.
I didn't see the article, Grayson. I don't know the context of it. I'd be a little afraid to comment on that right now. I'm not sure what they're trying to defund.
Yeah, so basically it was just trying to, the post itself was basically just justifying kind of the whole movement to defund the police.
That's interesting. At this point, like I said, unless I really saw the article and saw the full thing, I don't know how I would feel about that. I mean, I think, obviously our police department is very important, and I don't know what steps are being taken right now to do what they feel is necessary. And I think with the police, it's going to go state to state, city to city, probably on different ways that they want to train our police. But for the most part, I think they do a hell of a job.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I found this post especially concerning because, if you look at the state data, Broome County, it actually has the second highest crime rate of all the counties in the state of New York. So it's kind of concerning to kind of see that message that the answer to the high crime rate would be to just defund the police. And, I mean, I would expect this kind of thing from a member of Progressive Leaders of Tomorrow or PLOT, but not from a county legislator.
Well, that's, I mean, and of course, that's just one person's opinion, too, I'm talking about the legislator.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't feel, I'm sure a lot of people know the value of our police and how much we need them and what they do for us. And, unfortunately, there's bad police, and the majority of them are very good policemen. So, you get a few of them that give the rest of them a bad name. And I know personally, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do what they do,
Absolutely, what they do takes a lot of strength, and that's why I guess I called in today, because just when Legislator Weslar shared that, I was like, whoa, okay, so this is kind of like, I kind of feel like the whole essence behind the defund the police movement is it's kind of creating an image about all police officers, when really it's just like the few bad apples we need to go after here.
Yeah, there's bad in all types of, all ways of life. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of very good, very honest policemen who defend us and put their lives on the line for us every single day. The majority of them do. So I agree with that. That's too bad but again, that's just one person, and I don't see that happening. I mean, I don't know what would be involved in defunding the police. I really don't. I wouldn't even begin to know.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see where his opponent, Michael Vasquez, where his stance is on all this. I'm certain he wouldn't support this agenda that Weslar seems to support, but only time will tell, I guess.
I guess so. Hey, it's nice talking with you, Grace, and I appreciate you calling in, and please do call back again.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye now. Let's go to the phone lines. DJ is here. Hi, DJ. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing pretty good.
Wanted to talk about the funding police thing that somebody else was talking about?
Yes. First of all, I wanted to say, I think I saw you when we were children. Did you go to Horseman in West Junior?
For a short time, I did.
Yeah, I saw you once or twice. The last caller talked about disrespecting the dead.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, okay.
Well, I wasn't going to call until the next caller called up and said that Bob Weslar, the politician, county legislator, he used to be city. He's the one that brought us the city stickers. Now you have to put a sticker on your, if you throw out an old couch or a chair or an old refrigerator, you didn't used to have to put any. Now they charge you $3. He brought that about. I know him personally. I went to school with Joey. They went to Horseman and West Junior. His brother Joey loves the police. He's pro-police. The reason I say Bob Weslar is disrespecting the dead is because if you go down to City Hall, to the Binghamton Police Department, where they scan you to go in and make you wait through the thing. There's a wall, and it has all the pictures of hero police officers who were heroes and they died. That's Bob Weslar's dad.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hero police officer who died as a police officer. And so for him to say defund the police, to me, was a shocker. And they're anarchists. These people they want to defund the police because they're anarchists. Another politician's an anarchist, the one who just got the snot beaten out of him by what's her name, Mrs. Resnitti. He used to have feed people lunches, and my office was upstairs on the corner of Main and Crandall in back of a church, and in my studio. I'm a musician, and when I go down to see what was going on, they had anarchist magazines. So that's what these guys are. They're anarchists, and they want to defund the police for that reason. So,
well, I didn't see the article or what the issue was or what the context was. The caller that was on asked me how I felt about the police, and of course I have the utmost respect. And I will say this: I'm not going to name names, but I have a member of my family who's a Binghamton policeman. So, you know, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the police and for what they do. And you know, there's no condoning what happened with the one gentleman. George Floyd, but you know, I mean, it's those things happen. You know, there are bad people in all situations, and it's unfortunate, and it makes and whether or not they need to go back and vet certain people a little more, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I'm not in charge of that, and I don't really even want to comment on it. But as far as police go in general, they put their lives on the line every day.
Right, and the news is that they knew each other. They had a beef in the nightclub. It wasn't just a cop never seen this guy before and stopping him. They got into it in the nightclub. But my first cousin, and I won't name names either, he's a sergeant right now. And we used to watch The $6 Million Man together in the 70s when our parents were playing cards, and his brother just retired as a lieutenant at Broome County. So I totally respect the police. I had my wild days, Doug, when I was a wild whiskey-drinking heavy metal rocker. And they chased me through a couple backyards back in the 80s. But now I totally love them. I love the police. I respect the police. And these people that want to defund the police are kooks. That's a word my mother would use. She would call them kooks. They're kooky. Because that's just ridiculous, and it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably not the answer. But again, like I said, I don't really know what context that was put in. But I agree as far as the police go. We need our police. We need our police, and they do a lot for us. And the majority of people that work in the police force, the majority of those individuals are good people. They're heroes. They put their lives on the line every day.
That's right.
I agree with that.
You know what the funny thing is? Just one more thing. If this guy's laying in his bed and he smells smoke and wakes up and his house is burning, who's going to drag his blankety-blank self out of there?
I got you on delay, so that's okay.
Exactly.
Anyway. Well, thank you, DJ. I do appreciate it. I've got a few more calls to take before the top of the hour, but thanks so much for your opinion. It's always important, and always love to hear from you.
I thank you.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, it's what? I got 1 minute?
You got 1 minute, yeah.
Okay, so I missed some of the calls this morning in conversations, and especially the part about defunding the police. Do people that they're saying, do they know that defund means like no police department? It doesn't mean a cut in budget. That means do away with the police department? Is that what people are saying?
You know, I didn't see the article, and that's what I had said before. I don't know what context it was put in, and I don't know how it was phrased, so I couldn't answer that.
Because I know someone brought that subject up with Bob a few weeks ago, and when I heard the word defund, that means they're gone. And so Bob explained to them, like, do you know what that means? Which is what I'm saying now. It's not a cut in budget. It's doing, can you imagine not having a frickin' police department?
No, not one bit.
I've been
not one bit. But right now, let's go back to the phone lines. Michael is on the phone with us. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you? Have you and I ever talked before? I can't remember if we have.
I don't believe we have, although I talk to Bob a lot.
Well, I've heard you on the show before, so welcome. And you are running, you're a candidate, you're running?
Yes, Michael Vasquez, and yes, I'm running for the 13th Legislative District, and which is against Bob Weslar. And I was told, I'm at work at the moment, But I was told that someone had noticed Bob supporting defunding the police, and they mentioned that I should give a call in about that since it's a topic I feel strongly about because I support our police.
Who said that they were defunding the police? There was a few topics on that, but we didn't say we agreed with that.
I didn't say anyone agreed with it.
Oh, okay.
That's the topic.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That was brought up.
Sure, Michael. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so I know for myself, I think it's an important issue, and I wanted to just bring up, I am a strong supporter, have always been, for the police. I believe law enforcement is very critical, and I think that when people are talking about defunding the police, look at the result of what we've been seeing. We see Seattle, we see New York City, Chicago, Baltimore. Just look at the shootings and the deaths over the weekend alone. Look at what's been happening in the Chaz, that autonomous zone. Do we really want to have that in Binghamton or anywhere in the United States? Do we really want to get rid of our police and try and have social workers dealing with shootings? It's just not reasonable. And I find it very striking that any elected official would be saying, yes, this is what I want to see in our communities. And if I'm misunderstanding that, I think Bob should get on and explain himself and explain clearly what he's talking about, because as I understand, defunding the police means that you have more lawlessness, and it doesn't help the people. It doesn't help in any of the communities, whether minority or otherwise. It just makes things worse for everyone.
Yeah, I don't, and again, I don't know. I'd heard, I got the information secondhand, so I don't really know what was said. I agree, it's kind of vague, but obviously taking our police force away from us is not an option. That can't happen. But I'm not sure.
I have a screenshot of it. I'll be happy to send it to you.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't read it, so I don't know what text was mentioned, how it was mentioned, but we were talking about, and somebody asked me how my thoughts were about the police, and obviously I said I think they do a hell of a job, and they do, and for the most part, there's a few bad apples in everything you do, but for the most part, our police force in itself, they put their lives on the line for us every day.
Mm-hmm. No, I think they do, and I think we have to appreciate that. We can improve it, absolutely. We can always make things better. But to say, let's get rid of it, let's destroy what we have, let's harm the community because of a fringe political group's ideology, I don't think that's right for anyone. I don't think that helps anyone. And I think that this is an issue that really any elected official, but in particular this race that I happen to be in, that needs to be very clear. Voters need to know. And that applies for what we're seeing in the primaries as well. People need to know what's going on so they can make a very clear choice. Not a 30-second ad, not someone's name, but what that candidate actually stands for. So I'm at work. I have a customer that just came in, so I got to jump there, but
no problem.
I think it's something we need to talk about more.
Well, I'd be interested to hear a little bit more about what the whole issue was, or what the actual text said, because obviously our police do a great job all in all, and if they do something different in the vetting process and the recruitment process, that's something that they have to go through and figure out. But to just say we're going to do away with the police department, that's not going to happen.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
I don't see that ever happening. But thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. No, I agree with what he's saying as far as the police department goes. I mean, I don't know what was said, and I'm not going to assume that a person said, well, we got to get rid of the police department, because I don't think anybody really would say that. It doesn't make any sense. Could you imagine what kind of pandemonium we'd have in this country if we didn't have police? I mean, there are issues, without a doubt, and we've seen that clearly, and cooler heads prevail as far as coming up with a solution, because obviously the nation, the public, is demanding some kind of resolution or revision of how our police operate, and I couldn't begin to tell you what's right and what's wrong about it, because I don't know. All I know is that our police protect us. They do a lot of good, and there's bad apples everywhere you go, so you can't judge everybody on that. So that's all I got to say about that, but would love to hear your comments.